thing is to watch video. Another thing is to understand the video. By the end of this video, you will understand why this video is causing a lot of controversy and why many people are reacting aggressively. So please, if you are a crying type, I'm urging you to exit this video. Don't watch it, because what you're about to watch is very sad. By the end of this video, you see why the world is calling for international community to come and rescue Nigeria from the hand of these Islamic jihadists. So please, let's watch the video. But while you're watching, share the video, because the world needs the message. Let's watch it.
I now address the representative of the Islamic Republic directly. You have tried to kill me 3 times. I feel guilty that I don't name the rest. The list of names goes on and on. They knew they will face guns and bullets, but they wanted justice. Let me be very clear. The Islamic Republic behave like ISIS, and the Islamic Republic must be treated like ISIS. This is how you can save lives.
Let me start by making something very, very clear. This podcast is not an attack on American lobbies who are just doing their job. It is not an attack on consultants who are just taking care of their families.
So Nigeria's internal security crisis is no longer just a domestic issue. It's become a high-stakes battle for influence in Washington, according to the UK-based Africa Confidential, a respected newsletter that's built a global reputation for original reporting and analysis of key political and security developments across Africa. As competing narratives over violence and claims of a Christian genocide gain traction in the US, the Nigerian government and Biafran secessionist groups are now locked in an aggressive lobbying war, each seeking the attention and support of President Trump. According to Africa Confidential, alarmed by President Trump's threat last November to go into Nigeria guns a-blazing, the Tinubu administration has moved quickly to counter separatist claims, signing a multi-million-dollar lobbying contract with a Republican-linked firm to shape U.S. policy on visas, military cooperation, trade, and religious freedom. The scale of Abuja's effort far outweighs that of the pro-Biafra groups, who are also lobbying Washington, pushing for sanctions, diplomatic recognition, and even future military and oil agreements. So what's really at stake in this foreign lobbying battle? And how could it shape Nigeria's security, sovereignty, and international standing?
Let me start by making something very, very clear. This podcast is not an attack on American lobbies who are just doing their job. It is not an attack on consultants who are just taking care of their families. This is an indictment of a failed Nigerian political strategy, of a failed Tinubu strategy. And yes, it is also an indictment of the talkative Senate President, God's will Obot Akpabio, who is implicated here. Because when a government spends $9 million to explain itself abroad, a poor African country, it has already admitted that it has failed at home. Failed woefully. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Fion Okwa show on YouTube. Today, we separate facts from opinions, policy failure from public relation panic. This is a scandal. It is a terrible scandal that Tinubu is now begging with $9 million in Washington, D.C. Issue 1. Let's go with confirmed facts. Confirmed facts. Facts. According to a report by the Africa Report, Nigeria hired DCI Group for a $9 million lobbying contract. That is about $750,000 per month. $750,000 a month. In Naira, do you know how much it is? More than 1 billion every single month. Man, now wow, in a country with multidimensional poverty. The contract was signed via Aster Legal on behalf of Nigeria's National Security Advisor, no Ribadu. Ribadu again, the hypocritic Ribadu again. Fact. The stated purpose, is to convince Washington that Nigeria is serious about protecting Christians and countering terrorism. Fact. This is the largest known African lobbying contract in history, on record.
Don't just watch a video like as if you are watching a movie. Watch video to understand what the video is talking about. By the end of this video, you will see why this video is the most controversial video that will come across this week. If you are a crying type, exit this video, because the next part is where the whole thing is so interesting. So let's continue. Don't go anywhere.
Fact. This is the largest known African lobbying contract in history, on record. These facts are not in dispute. They are not. Issue 2. Ribadu, hypocrisy and credibility. This is my opinion. This is the opinion of Ofiankwa. Now let me tell you clearly that in my view, Ribadu is not being truthful with President Trump about the depth of Nigeria's religious violence crisis and the collapsing Nigerian state. As Nigerians will say, it's a lie. It's a lie. Many Nigerians, including respected voices, accuse Ribadu of being an enabler or at minimum a silent bystander for years in the face of Islamic extremism. Let me give one example that haunts Nigeria. I'm not aware, and I stand to be corrected. I stand to be corrected that Nuhu Ribadu said a single public word when Deborah Samuel was brutally murdered by his classmates in Sokoto for saying in the class that she was a born-again Christian. She was murdered for that blasphemy. There was no national outrage from those greedy politicians in Nigeria. There was no moral clarity from Nuhu Ribadu. So when Washington is told that Nigeria is protecting Christians, so my questions are simple. Protecting them when? When? In 2026? Protecting them where? And who is speaking for the dead here? Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a PR problem. This is a credibility problem. The Nigerian state is very weak and very hypocritic. That is the issue here. Issue 3. The lobbies, I repeat, the lobbies are not the problem at all. Let me be fair. The lobbies are just innocent professionals doing their job. As a matter of fact, I know about some of them. Some of them are actually very good people. They are not criminals. They are not responsible for Nigeria's failures. So when Nuhu Ribadu take 9 million to go and beg them, that is Nuhu Ribadu's problem. As serious people, though, I would request from the lobbies that they should do one thing first. They should listen to Christian victims in Benue. In Benue, in the Middle Belt. Listen to families in Plateau. Listen to survivors in Southern Kaduna. Listen to the 3 Catholic bishops that were murdered in cold blood by Islamic terrorists. No amount of talking points can erase lived trauma. This is not messaging. This is blood on the ground. Blood on the ground. Thousands, tens of thousands have died. Issue 4. I don't even think this will work, in my opinion. Now, this is my judgment, and I own it. This lobbying effort will not work. Why? I'll give you a reason, the reasons. Because Donald Trump has criticized Nigerian leadership before. Since his first term, he brought in Buhari to the White House, who looked like a dead man. Former President Muhammadu Buhari later recounted after that meeting that during his 2018 White House visit, Trump asked him directly, why are you killing Christians? This was asked to the Nigerian president. This is like Trump was in power in 2019 the first time. A claim Buhari himself made public in the 2020 interview that tells you everything. It looked like this magnetic act that is used to stop this greedy Nigerian chance from getting visa. Is yielding fruit. It will sanction them. It will not allow them bring their children to come and study in the US. Big men now are sweating. They don't want consequences that follow them or their children. That's why they're taking $9 million of Nigerian money and coming to spend to beg in Washington, D.C. Issue 5. The street verdict. I talk to a lot of people. Let me read a quote, because Nigerians are very upset. Let me read a quote from a prominent Nigerian observer. Quote, this quote reflects public sentiment. Quote, they just chopped their money, $9 million. Over $100 million was wasted over the past 11 days in the US. It was a dollar fest, this lobbying. That lobbying firm would not do anything. The next strike at the terrorists is just around the corner. Unquote. That means Trump is coming again. This is not academic analysis. Sokoto is not the end. This is straight realism. I am quoting the streets. I'm not telling you, I'm quoting the streets. Issue 6. Godswill Akpabio and the scandal shadow. This guy has no credibility. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio, and credibility matters in today's world. Separate U.S. filings show lobbying linked to letters written on behalf of Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Letters. Akpabio is publicly tarred with scandal. The guy is a moving scandal. EFCC indictments that are still there. They are unresolved corruption allegations. Clearly a deeply contested political reputation. He has attack from everybody, including his own. You cannot convince Washington you are serious about reform while your messengers symbolize impunity. All you have to do is to look at God's way. Is that the person representing Nigeria? Look at his problem. Natasha, all his problem is England. All people are screaming at him. Issue 7, poverty versus priorities. Here is the moral obscenity. Nigeria is ranked among the world's worst countries for multi-dimensional poverty. Millions without food, health care, education, or security. Yet, this government found $9 million using Ribadu's company and his people, or whatever is used, not to protect Nigerians, but to explain failure to Washington. That is not leadership. That is elite self-preservation. The big men in Nigeria are now in a protective mode. They want to dodge Trump so that they can continue. This is my closing final judgment. Let me end very clearly. Fact. Nigeria hired US lobbyists for $9 million. Fact. The goal is to reshape US perception, to lie. In my opinion, no, to the US. Opinion. This will not stop US pressure. This will not erase failure, governance failure. This will not silence the dead. Because legitimacy is earned on the ground. You cannot purchase it on Care Street.
This is so annoying that in the whole world generally, the crisis that is going on in the world today was being caused by the so-called Islamic religion. The people that practices the faith of violence. For me, I have sat down and studied about other religions, how they operate and what they believe. I have never seen any religion that is so violent like the way Islam is. I'm not trying to condemn them. There are still good ones among them in this Islamic faith. But the most brutal and the dangerous ones are these ones that call themselves Muslim Brotherhood. These people are so dangerous. Imagine how the world could have been without the Muslim. The world is the people that are responsible for the atrocities, the crisis that is going on in the world today. I know many Muslims may argue it, but the fact remains. Look at what is going on in Nigeria today. Then you ask yourself, why is it that other religions are not involved in this kind of crisis? Imagine where Christians join their hand and start unaliving people, sharing blood the way the Muslims are sharing. How do you think the world will be? Because this video have explained it all. The only mistake the world is making is by keeping silent for the atrocities of these invaders, of this Islamic Brotherhood, of this Islamic jihadists that is destroying the world today. More especially the Nigeria. Nigeria is their living heaven. The only lasting solution to this crisis that is going on in Nigeria today is just disintegration. Let the America disintegrate Nigeria and allow the Biafrans to go in peace. It's only that will bring the final solution and end all this unaliving the crisis that is going on in this country. And in that, the America will have their peace and save their energy. Because if they like, let them send their security expertise or whatever. They can never defeat the Islamic jihadists that is already in Nigeria soil. They have sworn an oath of allegiance to defend and fight to Islamize this country. And the worst part of it is that the politicians are involved. The terrorists are in the midst of the politicians. So it's very hard to identify. You see, that is why we are telling the America and Israel and some other world power to recognize Biafra. Only that we end the crisis that is going on in Nigeria. Believe in me. So please share the video. Who am I? I'm only a messenger. If you love what I do here in this Global Love Channel TV, please don't hesitate to touch a hand for subscribe button, like and turn on the notification bell so that whenever we upload a new video, you'll be the first person to be notified. And in doing that, you're encouraging us to do more. Togetherness, we shall save life together because Africa life matters. Till next time, see you in my next video. Bye for now. Thank you.